Yo guys, so we're back on Bridge Western and we're back discussing 5 more stands I want to see added to the game. You guys showed a lot of love on the last time we did this. So firstly I want to say thank you. And before we get into the ranking, I just want to say if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, it helps the channel out tremendously. It's not been easy making videos in this heat, I've got to say. I turn on the computer to edit, my room goes to 60 degrees bro. So make sure you run up that like button. Now let's get straight into it. For ranking this time around, I have actually factored in a lot of what you guys said in the comments of the last video. Some stands that you guys will mention a lot, I've taken the most popular ones and added them to this ranking today. So for our first stand, I did see it quite a lot in the comments of the last video, and that is Echoes Act 1 through to 3. And I think the stand speaks for itself pretty much. Like in Act 1 you can slow people if you hit them. In Act 2 you can be more creative with it and set up traps on people. So if you got 2 teamers, you might be able to set a trap that slows one or freezes one, and then you can attack 1v1 on someone else. That'd be kind of cool. And in Act 3 you can obviously do the freeze attack, slow people, and it's just an easy going stand, I guess. So I felt it was good to have Echoes in this. I was actually debating whether or not I have Echoes or Heaven's Door as the first stand, but I went with Echoes for today's video. For our second stand, I've got to say this is easily the most requested stand I saw in my comments in the last video, and that stand is none other than Bruno Butreffi's stand, Sticky Fingers. And some of the suggestions you guys were coming up with in the comments of the last video were crazy, bro. And it made me think this stand has crazy outplay potential. And if done right, you could have an ability where you hide in trees, buildings, and the floor if you wanted to. And if you wanted an ability, it could stun people with a barrage, turning the body into zips, not even allowing them to shoot back. To me, like, it could easily be an S tier stand if done right by the devs. I can easily see the stand being like the best crowd control stand in the game by far. It has that potential, I believe. But it just depends how the devs do it. Oof. Alright, we're going through this quite fast. But for our next stand, we do have Metallica. Honestly, this one was quite a hard one to conjure up some abilities for. But to me, it should be a bit like Tubular Bells, where you have a red aura like Risotto does in the anime. So it gives you your opponent a visual cue to know that, oh, he has this stand, obviously. But for his abilities, I came up with that. So one ability you could have where you disable an opponent's limbs, where obviously you'd have to drag your mouse onto that limb, and if you're in range you can disable it. Might not do too much damage, but because obviously you're controlling and manipulating the iron in someone's body, I think it should work like that. Let me know down below if you agree, disagree with that. And they can't shoot back at you. There should also be a risk and reward system to this stand. So if you did run Metallica, you should probably have a sword build, as if you stay in the vicinity of your opponent, they lose more and more iron in their body. So it becomes slower and slower and slower, and the limbs start to not work. So if you don't bop Metallica user quick enough, you kinda just lose that fight outright. And it gives the Metallica user a win condition if you use this ability. Hold on. I hate to be rudely interrupted by that guy, but yo, he's dead now, but that's crazy. But for our next stand, we do have Anubis. I have put down that Anubis should have projectiles that pass through anything. So it'd just be a more overpowered version of the sword in the game right now. And if you die, you just come back with damage buffs as the stand adapts to your opponent. Which is pretty simplistic, but I feel like can't really get too creative. Anubis is not that type of stand. For our other honorable mentions, I did put down Notorious B.I.G., where the stand is literally the entire purpose of that stand is to chase people relentlessly after its user has died. So it's sort of gimmicky in practicality, but having these petty stands would be funny to me personally. Like, you get cooked by 2 Timmies teaming, B.I.G. clutches up, if they did allow it to do that. To me, it'd just pretty much the JoJo version of the big Raga. But now we get to the last two stands, and for these stands I have got, for the first one I have got Cream from JoJo's Part 3. I've put down it should replace your horse, but honestly I think the dev should make this stand, of all the stands I've mentioned in the past, this stand should be as close to the show as possible. So you can't actually see anything when you do go into that erase form, and you should become that ball. But if you do hit someone, or if you are hit by it, that person should be erased, or at least you should do 80% of their health, because it is just erasing anything in its path. And it'd just be another traversal stand, I guess, more so than like Made in Heaven or Hermit Purple. But I don't think it'd be faster than the last stand we have, and that leads us into our very last stand of the day, of the video, of anything. But for our last stand we have Scary Monsters. And I think, like Echoes, this stand also speaks for itself. I also saw loads of cool suggestions for this. I think, like Cream, and I've seen other people in my comments in the last video put down, it should replace your horse. I believe it should. To me, it's quite surprising it's not already in the game, but I think it should be on par with a legendary horse for speed stats. It should fight like a dino, but the caveat with Scary Monsters is that if you get hit by a user while they are transformed in Scary Monsters, if you get hit, you turn into a fossil, i.e. you get stunned pretty much. That you can hit at any time as long as you are transformed in Scary Monsters. I was wondering if I should put a stamina, but if a stand like this should have a stamina, but I didn't know. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below, man. But that is pretty much it. I was rudely interrupted by that guy earlier. But let me know down below. What more stands would you want to see added to Bridge of Western? What abilities should they have? And what tier do you think they should be in? That's pretty much it, guys. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. As for a Bridge of Western gameplay video, gotta let it be known, there's not much for me to do currently in the game. I'm just waiting for Golden Experience Requiem to come. It's not coming out. Still, I'm just waiting with my King Crimson, and it's pretty boring, I can't lie. But these videos are really fun to make, I can't lie. Because it just, yeah, I mean, you just brainstorm stand ideas. What would it look like in this game? That's cool to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So peace, guys.